Previously on Lost.
The most obvious theory being that this is some sort of dream.
Got him! Got him!
Yeah, this one definitely didn't pan out like I thought it would. Good job, Nakamura. You got all of us. So, what actually happened in this chapter? Let's review on this latest episode of the review series. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my review of the latest 100 Girlfriends manga chapter, Chapter 184, Rentorou's Family's Sky Island Escape. As always, I won't be going over everything as I encourage you to support the official release, as well as the Scanlation team that is keeping us up to date on all the latest chapters. They are the real heroes of the multiverse. And before we get to the review, since it's a rather simple and straightforward story with not much to cover, I want to ask you all something. We know a break week is coming up in about 3 weeks because of the magazine they are publishing, Young Jump, will be going on break. So I want your opinions on what topic I should cover. I have a couple I want to do, but can't decide on one. Now, it would be easy just to tell you the ideas I have and let you vote, but I like making things more complicated than they need to be. So, I'm gonna be cryptic as hell, and you all just have to blindly vote on one. Here's how we'll go. I will give you a code name and a brief description of what the video would entail, and then you will all vote in the comment section below on which video you would all like to see during break week. And for those shy ones who don't want to leave a comment, I'll also have a straw poll in the description below that you can vote on as well anonymously. I'll tally the votes after we can declare the winner in the next chapter video. So, let's get to the vague and cryptic code names and descriptions. Project Brick Wall. This is a video in the style of classic game theory or film theory where I take something that we know from the 100 Girlfriends manga and then try to apply some real-world math, law, science, or consequences, etc. to the situation, and see if the logistics actually check out and what it would mean in our real world. Project Stray Cat. This is a video that will be entirely fueled by the 100 Girlfriends community, whether that be from the official Discord, the Reddits, and other online communities, where I will rank, discuss, and judge the contributions that are made. Project Rocky Cliff. This is a video in the other style of game theory or film theory, where I have a crazy off-the-wall theory about something in the 100 Girlfriends series that I will go into detail about to support my theory. This theory, unlike the counting of the days in the past video, is entirely speculation based on a singular line of dialogue that I noticed, and my overactive imagination running wild on what it could entail for a certain character. And don't worry, there is some logic to the codenames, but they are so twisted I don't expect anyone to decipher them. But I will explain the reasoning behind the name when I announce the winner. Got all that down? Leave your vote in the comment section below, or in the straw poll, or even both. And now, on to the review. The chapter opens up where we left off previously, with Rentorou returning back to the girls explaining the situation. That they are in fact stranded on a small island that's floating on an island in the sky. Of course, no one believed him at first, but after they give it a moment's thought, it explains things that they noticed in the previous chapter, like the stronger intensity of the sun. Usa begins to panic at the idea of how isolating a deserted island in the middle of the sky is, whereas Meru goes on a tangent on how much of a deserted island or even floating island is quite the fairy tale, but full of despair nonetheless. At this point, I'm waiting for something to happen in this manga to her that isn't fairy tale-y. Now realizing their situation being a bit more complicated than they originally thought, and also realizing they are running low on time due to no food, Rentorou comes up with a plan to get all the girls to safety. Kurumi initially strikes it down as crazy, but Rentorou's desperation convinces them. So with Rentorou firmly wrapped around all 29 of his girlfriend's waists, they take the actual leap of faith and jump off their floating island prison. A fun detail with this shot though, everyone is grouped up with a character they have had previously had another chapter with of some kind. This is quite a contrast to the plain panel from the previous chapter, where no one was with any of their usual pairings, but here, they are all back with their usual matchups. Everyone rightfully begins freaking out. Momoha starts flapping her arms, trying to fly, with Mai telling her to cut it out. Ira is panicking from not being able to kick heights. Kasuri is just accepting that they are all just gonna die, and Rin not happy with this kind of molto violento. Usa-chan begs Mimimi to hold her tighter, with Meimei still at this dire hour trying to keep her bangs in check. Akko totally can't handle this, and Sue clutches to her wishing to ease her mind just by listing off some numbers. Nano comes this close to confessing to Shizuka when Rentorou cuts them both off and tells them to look onto the horizon. Suddenly, everyone is so calm that the laws of gravity and physics are completely ignored as they continue to plummet through the air, until eventually they at last make landfall and celebrate their escape from the floating island. only to come to the despairing sight of Rentaro stretched wide from being used as their parachute. In his last dying words, he does not regret his decision. All that matters is that the girlfriends are safe and sound. Not wanting their collective boyfriend to die, they all grab various parts of him, confessing their love and taking consecutive turns kissing him, which somehow they did this so much that they all passed out from exhaustion. That raises some weird questions for me, but instead I'll just blame it on the lack of food and adrenaline run from leaping off a floating island by only a parachute of your stretchy devil fruit boyfriend. Rentaro intends to keep them warm as they sleep by wrapping himself around them, when suddenly we see our old friend the Love God pop up for the first time in quite a while. Turns out he learned what happened to Rentaro and the family on the morning's God News, and is now here to give us some explanations. Turns out the island is a part of the heavens, or a slice of it at least. Normally these islands are inaccessible or not even able to be seen by humans, but because of the Love God's mistake from chapter 1 of tying all their fates to Rentaro, everyone in the family can now be considered a bug in the system when it comes to mortals and gods, and Rentaro gets mad at him again, blaming him for what happened. Which is technically the truth because of his mistake. These characters are now susceptible to new mythic shenanigans involving gods and whatnot. And I bet this won't be the last time we hear this kind of excuse to explain why supernatural phenomenon is happening in this manga. Hell, it could be the reason why Matsuri interacted with the God of Infinity. Then onto the matter of the not gum fruit that gave Rentaro his abilities. Not a devil fruit, but a fruit of human desire. Though, let's be honest, if you watched or read One Piece, that is still the explanation of a devil fruit. So we are now confirming devil fruits exist in the world of 100 Girlfriends. It's just that they only exist in the realm of the gods of the world. Huh. Rentaro's desire to protect his girlfriends gave him those abilities, which does tie back to what I said in the previous chapter review of how Rentaro does model himself after Luffy, so it makes sense that his desire to protect his girlfriends manifested in the character he looked up to. Rentaro labels it as the Deus Ex Machina that it is, and much like devil fruits yet again, it has a chance to kill you, especially if you eat it twice. So yeah, definitely a devil fruit. The God of Love then takes it upon himself to fix this mess by using up his God Mart points, which I think I need more of an explanation of what God Mart points are than devil fruits, honestly. Knocking everyone out, the family all awaken to find Rentaro back to his normal self, and they end everything on a nice big hug. So my long spiel about this being a dream from the last video was all for nothing. It actually did turn out to be reality, though reality manipulated by gods at least. I think a few people predicted that in the comments of the last video. Nice going to all who said that. Not to mention, my squirrel theory is dead in the water. Where has that squirrel been this whole time? I gotta say though, I am kind of disappointed with this chapter. The fact it's also only a two-parter is also kind of weird, especially being at the end of the volume like this. The big setup from the previous chapter was so good, and this payoff is just nothing special. They just jump and land and that's the whole chapter. I honestly think this whole setup was just the author and the illustrator just wanting to do something different than normal high schoolers being at high school, and do weird stuff like drawing a stretchy person. So they came up with this idea to do just that. Which the intention behind the idea was good. It's always a good idea to break from the usual and do something different, but the execution just did not land for me. But with this lackluster ending, I am kind of glad it's over. I could only imagine my disappointment if this did go on for another chapter only to end like this. On the bright side though, when a chapter doesn't hit like this, there's always another one right around the corner. It's not usually a long wait before the next chapter. Let's hope this chapter involving Ira and May next week is a bit more interesting. Let me know what all your thoughts are on this two-parter. Were you disappointed like I was? How do you feel about devil fruit technically existing in this world? And don't forget to vote for the next Break Week video idea in the comments section below. And while you're there, like and subscribe if you aren't already. I've been Moonlight150, and I will see you all on the next video.